for those of you that are Patreon subscribers, we're going to keep going. And Reese, what is that horrible hotel room that you were teasing? You were teasing the freebies with. Teasing, just tickling, just tickling with the tongue. Just tickling, just a little tickle.
Speaking of which, we got to get to that Sang Kim story.
Oh, okay.
No, but
so I'm going to write that down.
In 5 Iron Frenzy, I think this was a worse experience for us.
Okay.
So, we were on tour with Johnny Respect.
Great guys.
Yeah.
Love.
I don't remember
guys.
who else was on the bill. Might have just been our 2 bands. And I remember it was somewhere like Wisconsin, Minnesota, like somewhere in the Midwest, and a blizzard hit. And we were in between shows.
Which was probably June in Minnesota.
Yeah, probably. But so we were in between shows, and so we'd get hotels at shows because it was in the Ryder, like 2 or 3 rooms. But this was in between, or maybe it was early enough that we didn't get a lot of hotel rooms. But I remember we stopped, and this hotel room, they were like, well, there's just 2 more rooms or whatever. Johnny Respect, I don't know if they stayed in the room or we told them this story afterwards, and then they told us a story to top it of their worst time in a hotel room. But I remember there were at least 4 or 5 of us in this room, and it was a blizzard, and the door wouldn't shut.
It was a Reese's Pieces blizzard.
It was a snickerdoodle blizzard.
It was a double fudge brownie blizzard. Turned it upside down, didn't fall out.
No, it was so, we were so tired, we went to sleep, and the door kept blowing open because the blizzard would blow it open. And then you just wake up because it'd be like howling wind and snow blowing on you.
Like the movie The Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
Close the door. They just have to keep nailing it shut.
Yes. It was like that, except nobody had a hammer and nails. And I remember waking up. I think I was one of the floor sleepers on this one, and just waking up buried in a pile of snow. A drift had come in the room, and the door was open. And I remember phenomenal. It was like daylight, but my feet were under the snowbank, and it was blowing into and on the beds. We were all dead asleep.
That is phenomenal.
Piling over us. So we're just oh my God, the blizzard came in. Who didn't shut the door?
Who didn't nail the door shut?
We did sleep. We got sleep. And I think I woke up because I'm just shivering, my teeth are chattering because I'm in this snow. And then, but it was also not just the snowbank there, snow was everywhere in the freaking room. It just blown around.
The toilet everywhere. Had iced over.
Piles of snow, in every corner. There was snow an inch or 2 thick on everyone's bed, and then I was on the floor in the snowbank.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, so we were oh man, this is crazy. Let's get in the van and warm up. So we get back on the road. We get to the venue, and we're telling Johnny Respect. We're dude, what happened to you guys? They're I don't know, they made it or they slept in their van or something, but they're we're this is so crazy. This is the worst hotel we ever stayed in, worst thing that's ever happened. And they're oh man, we got a better story for you. So they were the last tour we were on, and there's 3 guys in the band. So sometimes they would get a hotel room and it'd be like a king bed, and they'd all just be like, yeah, we're all sleeping in here together. So they just get in. Apparently that happened. They all slept in a king size bed in some ghetto hotel, and they all got crabs. So they were just like itchy. What is going on, man? I feel like I have a food allergy or poison ivy, and then all of them just pubes full of arachnids. Just insects. I guess it's insects.
I remember that. Like, I remember you guys being on tour, but like the rumor, it spread like wildfire. Like, we weren't even on tour together, but like we had heard on our tour that Johnny Respect had gotten crabs from a hotel room.
Yeah.
And we were just like, what? Like, what in the world?
No.
So we had, I told the story the one time of when we first drove out to California, and we were dying. We needed sleep. So we stopped at this hotel in Albuquerque, and we were going to cheat and get one room and pile us all in there. And then when we went in, like the lady was like, oh, the Lord told me that a bunch of good looking guys were going to be coming in. So she had all like the rooms ready. Well, so we stayed in the rooms, and I don't know, maybe I didn't tell this part of the story, but so Kyle was a big skateboarder, and Albuquerque, from what it's been explained, how it's been explained to me, at least a portion of Albuquerque is like built on a hill. And so where the hotel was at the top of the hill, and
like
then
up by the university up there.
I don't know. I don't know. But so just where the hotel was, it was higher elevation than like the downtown. And so Kyle started, we're in the hotel, and he's like, I'm just going to skate. I'm just going to go skate around the city and, blow off steam, whatever, before I go to bed. So he skates downtown, and he's down there, and this police officer comes up to him and is like, he thought he was going to get like yelled at for skateboarding. And this police officer comes up and is like, hey, my son is doing like a school report on skateboarders. Do you mind if I take a few pictures of you skating? Now, the funny thing is, Kyle wasn't a skateboarder in the sense that like he skated like Tony Hawk or like did tricks. Like he did zero tricks.
Skated around.
He just skated. He didn't have like the board where like both ends of the board like bent up. He had like the old school like 80s Nash skateboard that it was like, it looked like a fish, and then like the back of it like came up. And so he just had like a cruiser board. Again, not a cruiser in the sense that it was like 6 feet. It was a normal skateboard, but it was a cruiser. You didn't do tricks on it. So he's just skating around, and this cop's like taking pictures of him. Well, then it's time to go, and he's starting to skate back, but his entire 2-mile skate is an uphill skate.
Gosh.
And so he's like struggling, and the same cop drives by and is like, hey, oh, that's what it was. He took pictures, and he's like, hey, can I like, buy a pop or something like that for letting me do this? And Kyle was like, to tell you the truth, you could help me by driving me back. That's what it was. He goes, you could drive me back to my hotel if you wouldn't mind. So the guy's like, yeah, get in the car. So Kyle gets in the back of the police car, foreshadowing. So Kyle gets in the back of the police car, and the guy's like, what hotel you at? And he's like, we're at the Best Western. And the guy's like, oh, okay. So you like pull up in the Best Western. He's like, what hotel are you? What room are you in? And Kyle's like, we're in 14 and 15. And the guy's like, no way. And Kyle's like, what? And the guy's like, again, this is a cop. And the cop's like, we had a suicide there like 3 days ago.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, in what room? And the guy's like, I swear it was in like room 15. Well, that was the room that we were staying in. So Kyle gets out and he comes up, and I'm like taking a dump in the bathroom. And so I'm sitting on the toilet taking a dump, and
See a lady in the
as opposed
tub.
to
She turns
as
into a
opposed to being
corpse.
yeah.
Oh,
No, so I'm sitting there taking a dump, and he comes in, and I hear him telling the story. He's like, yeah, this cop took pictures of me. And then just now when he dropped me off, he said that he thinks there was like a suicide in either room 14, 15, or 16. Well, we had rooms for like 14 and 15. He was like, but he couldn't remember exactly. And he's like, he said it happened in the bathroom. And Reese, this is the God's honest truth. This is the God's honest
oh
truth.
no.
I'm sitting on the toilet and I look. So after he says this, I'm like looking around the room for like clues. And the bathroom tile on the floor was white. And the grout in between that was white in this corner of the bathroom was not white. So
Oh,
you could tell that they had cleaned the tile, but the grout was stained from the blood. So it was like this big, like half circle against the wall. So I see that on the floor and I'm like, oh my gosh, if that's where it pooled up on the floor. So then I look, and because I'm sitting on the toilet, like the wall directly across from me, 18 inches, from my face, you could see where the blood, like the dude like blew his head off, and
bro.
the
No.
blood, dude, it was like they had somebody come in and like wash the wall. And then because the wall was stained, it was like beige. It was just like a hotel bathroom. So it was like beige walls. So they had somebody come in and like scrub the walls, but again, they were stained. And then somebody just painted the beige over it. So you could clearly tell when it was wet, they were probably like, oh, that'll do. And then it dried, it didn't do. And so you could tell on the wall all the splatter marks, all the like stained, and it was our hotel room that someone had like K'd out. And that was a weird one.
Did you stay there? You finished?
Yeah, we stayed there. We stayed there. Because like I said, that was our first trip, man. We were broke. So we were like, well, I mean, the body's not in there anymore. And
Right.
the bed's clean, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, someone had just like blown their head off in there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Did I ever tell you? Oh, go on.
Oh, so my sister had this job where she was the night auditor of this extended stay, like bargain extended stay suites place in Phoenix. And she ended up doing so well. They made her the manager, and then doing so well at that they would just kind of make her travel around to their other hotels that needed like a substitute manager, or they needed like somebody to fix it. So somebody to come in and be like, hey, I got to fire this cleaning lady, or I got to do this. You don't have a maintenance guy, I'll hire this. So she was really good at it. But like these places were places where people would live, and it was kind of ghetto. And she would just be like weekly, every week, somebody would K out, and she'd have to like that. She was like, well, this is how you clean it. And I know, because this happens all the time. Like, he would just go and find like these people in the phone book that was their job, cleaning up like biological messes and things like that.
Absolutely. A big one across the country is called Aftermath.
Oh my gosh.
You can work for a company called Aftermath. And this is what people don't understand is when, hopefully you're never going to have to experience this. And if you have to this point, I'm sorry. And I don't mean to bring anything up to disturb you, but if people have loved ones that like, whether it was an accident in the house or it was like a gunshot or something like that,
or natural,
somebody
dies and nobody finds them for a week or two.
Exactly. So what people don't understand is like, when the medical examiner comes and they pick up the body, or the funeral home comes and picks up the body, all they're doing is taking the body. So if someone has blown their head off, if someone has died and then melted into the carpet, the body is
Somebody's got to
just
come get
going.
the maggots out.
Yeah. So like you as the family, like the body's gone, but you still have this gooey mess in the carpet, or
Oh
you
my
still
Lord.
have brain and skull all over the room. And so people think that like that's part of police or fire or EMS or medical examiner's job description to do that. It's not. So they leave and you're like, well, what do I do? And so a lot of times people are like, check the phone book for Aftermath. And Aftermath is just this group of people. They're in every city. They're all over the country. And they just come in with like industrial cleaner. And like, if you've melted into the floor, like they'll cut the carpet out, they'll cut out the floorboards. Like they make it so it's no longer like a hazmat issue. They clean up all the brain and skull and do all that stuff.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
gosh.
that's a job. That's a job that you
That's a
want.
job. That is
Now,
a job.
did I ever tell you? I told you about Bo and his night terrors, right?
No, I don't think you have.
I haven't told you this.
Uh-uh.
All right. I feel like sometimes maybe we've had too many drinks and that's why we don't remember what we've told each other. But
That is exactly why. I also listened to it again. I edit it also drinking. And I was just like, I don't remember. Episode 15's out? I don't know.
Well, Bo, our bass player, original bass player, he would have night terrors. And
Okay.
so if we were on the bus, there were nights where he would like jump out of his bunk, and even though he's out of his bunk and his eyes are open, he's not awake. And he'd be like yelling that spiders were in the bunk, like all this stuff. And then it takes him a while to wake up. I'm sure I've told you guys these stories before. There
No,
was
you
one
haven't.
night.
Sonny also has this.
Well, so there was one night, two really good ones. So we were talking about hotel rooms. And so you would talk about how the door had blown open and the snow came in. It reminded me of Bo had a night terror one night where his sleeping partner was our road manager, John Hale.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a night where we had like 4 hotel rooms. So John and Bo were in the same room. Well, because Johnny was our road manager, he had our briefcase, had all the information in it. He had all the money with him,
Got
the
all
money
the
bags.
money, sleeping in it with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the hotel room, when he got into the hotel room, he did the latch on the door, he did the chain on the door, and then he did the deadbolt.
Mm-hmm.
And so they go to bed. Well, in the middle of the night, Johnny is woken up by Bo yelling at him like, "Stop trying to kill me." And John's like, "What?" And Bo's like, "Stop trying to kill me." He's like, "Help, help, he's trying to kill me." And Johnny's like, "Bo, like, quiet down, man. Someone's going to call the cops. Like, they're going to think that you're being serious." And Bo is like, he's asleep. He's not awake. And he's screaming his head off. So he ran from like the hotel, like he was like the second bed, or he had been like in the bathroom part of the room. And so he was toward the back of the hotel room screaming at Johnny. So then he runs to the door, and he said later that when he was running to the door, he thought it was like Indiana Jones where the darts are coming out of the wall.
He can remember his dream.
Yeah. So he thought when he was running to the door, like darts are shooting and they're just missing him. So he gets to the door, he undoes the deadbolt, and he undoes the chain latch like in his sleep. But in his sleep, I mean, shoot, people that are awake, I mean, you know that like latch that flips over and catches like that hooky thing?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't do that completely sober, wide awake. So let
Uh-huh.
alone trying to do it when you're asleep. But he did the deadbolt on the handle. He did the chain lock, but he couldn't do that one. He couldn't get that one undone. And he's trying to yank the door open. And he's like, help! He's trying to kill me. And he's just yelling out the door. And it's like 5 a.m. And because of that latch thing, he can get the door like a half an inch open, and his face is like crammed in that opening, and he's just yelling, he's trying to kill me. So John, all this is happening within, a minute, less than a minute. So it's all happening less than a minute. And John's like, Bo, like, buddy, settle down. I'm not trying to kill you. Like, you're asleep. And so now suddenly Bo is starting to wake up. And Johnny's just like, Bo, go to bed. And so he did. He like turned and like got in his bed, and that was it. Like that was
No one called the cops or anything?
no, nobody called the
man.
cops. It was nuts. Like, and Johnny, there was no way he was going to bed after that. He was just freaked out. Yeah. Yeah, there was another time. There was another time where Bo and Nate were sleeping together. And Bo got up in the middle of the night. Nate's sleeping. Bo gets up in the middle of the night and he's taking a leak. And while he's taking a leak, he's still sleeping. So he's in the bathroom and he's like, this is ridiculous. Nate and I are married and he hasn't tried to touch me all night. And like, I want some. Like, I want some.
This
And
is what he's saying?
This is what he's thinking. So while he's peeing, he's like, this is ridiculous. Like, Nate and I are married and he hasn't touched me. He hasn't done anything. And I'm yeah.
He turned gay while he was sleeping.
Yeah. While he was peeing. The peeing made him gay.
Being asleep.
Holding his own wiener peeing made him gay.
That's
And
how it
so,
happens, everybody.
That is how it happens, guys. Not completely. We're not fact checking that, but we think that's how it happens.
It's not genetic.
It's not genetic.
This is how it happens to
Yeah.
everyone.
It has nothing to do with you not having a choice. It's just sometimes you pee and you become gay. And so he's in the bathroom. He's thinking, me and Nate are married. Nate has not touched me. I'm horny. I want some. So he leaves the bath. This is a true story. We'll have
Not
Nate on
just
here
gay,
sometime.
He's misogynistically gay.
Yes. Yes.
This guy owes me. We're married.
Yeah, like date rape, marry rape, Yeah. I just hit my microphone with my headphone. And so he climbs back in to bed with Nate and he starts getting handsy with Nate. Yeah. So he starts getting handsy with Nate and his hands are all over him. And, Nate's body is a wonderland. And so he's just letting his hands walk all over that wonderland. And Nate, like, eyes, shoot open and he goes, Bo, like that. And Bo's like, and the story is like, Bo's like, what? And Nate's like, what are you doing? And Nate's like, or Bo's like, we're married and blah, blah, blah. And you don't love me like you used to. And all this stuff. And Nate was like, Bo, you're dreaming right now. We're not married, man. We're in the Insiders. We're in a hotel right now. This ain't happening. Like, this is not happening. And Bo's like, whatever. And like rolled over, like all angry, was like, whatever. Rolls over and like goes back to bed. And so like Nate, like in the morning, Nate's like, Bo, what in the heck happened last night?
Oh
Like,
my
what are you
gosh.
doing?" And Bo was like the thing is with like the night terrors and stuff, like you remember them, like it's like it really for real happened.
Oh,
And so
jeez.
so Bo was like, "Oh Lord, I was hoping I like dreamt that." And then that's when he like told us, he was like, "Yeah, man, I was going to the bathroom and this is what I thought and this is what I was thinking," all that stuff. But yeah, he was trying to like hook up with Nate, and Nate was just like, no, nobody, no,
Oh
go
my
back to
gosh.
bed."
Okay, I got two stories for you.
Oh, let's hear him.
Sonny did not have a lot of night terrors, but I when he first got in the band, it was like his first tour. He just took Scott's old bunk, and on the bus, on that school bus, because I told you Frank Tate's best friend from college, this guy Thane, had done all the bunks, but like I don't think he had any research into what a like a tour bus was like. So
Sure.
he's just like, I need eight bunks. There needs to be a hallway. I'll put it on the side, and then the bunks will just slide. They'll go back like perpendicular to the way you're driving, which is not how you're supposed to be, because like if somebody slams on the brakes, you're just going to
Yeah, you
roll
fly
into
out.
each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
so well, and also didn't have division. So it was better in that it wasn't like there were walls, cuz then it would be like a coffin you'd just be bouncing around in.
Yeah.
There were just these kind of velvet curtains that we had in between people's bunks. So often you'd roll over and find yourself cuddling your neighbor.
Or
So
you'd hear noises,
yeah.
feverish
Yeah.
shuffling.
Or you'd be like, why does Reese have all these socks in his bunk? um so he like Sonny is in the front on top, which was the worst bunk, because if the brakes went on, you'd fly out into the bus. And that happened a couple times. I was in the back on the bottom, and nobody else wanted it. It wasn't like people were just like, I'll let Reese pick first. I just ended up with the best bunk. It was in the back on the bottom. I only had Andy next to me, and there was a wall on the other side. Um, so like I was the last one to roll out. I was not way up high, so my center of gravity was lower, so I didn't roll a lot. And the first tour we went on, I don't think I talked about this. It was the bus was set with the factory springs, which are meant like to haul around 65, high school kids or whatever, like up to
Yeah.
high school. So they were set like really tight, and we were on the Sky Against Racism tour, and I remember going across I-10, like we started, like in Arizona and went across to Florida playing shows. But I-10 is the worst. Like I don't think any of those states have fixed it since Eisenhower built it. So you were just hitting potholes and stuff, and the shocks would just bounce you. And all of us on that first tour hit the ceiling. Like you'd wake up from a dead sleep because your nose was getting broken by the ceiling. Like you just
Yeah,
be,
because you're
"Ugh."
free falling.
Or you'd wake up and be like, because the wind got knocked out of you while you were sleeping. Just like it's completely dark and you're like, just waking up. But Sonny, when he first got in the band, I just remember we were all sleeping and you just hear this, oh, 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 oh. And Keith's like, hey, dude, Sonny, what? Get out of my bunk. Get out of my bunk. Because Keith was below him. Sonny somehow got wrapped up in the curtains and like rolled down, fell down between the
Like a
bunks.
Cirque du Soleil performer.
Yeah, and then was like crawling towards the back of Keith's bunk, like shoving Keith out of the way, like just crawling and just like screaming. And so finally everybody's awake, like we're all awake, like what's going on? What's happening? And then Sonny just goes, Oh, oh man. I thought I was in a pyramid. That was it. He
A
just,
pyramid scheme. He thought he had
oh
given all his
no.
money away.
Like was dreaming he was in some pyramid, like in Giza, and then he's like trapped and crawling all over Keith.
That's
So,
hysterical.
yeah. The other story, the other hotel story that is similar to your Bose story is that at the Tom Fest, it was the first or second year we played it. And Frank Tate
We
came
never
up
played
with us.
that. We never
What?
played Tom Fest. No, they
Dude,
never
it
asked
was
us
so
to play.
cool. Are you
Yeah.
kidding?
Yeah, never played it.
Hey,
go on though. I just wanted to put that out there. If any of you promoters were listening to
that
that used to book
hurts.
for that.
It is. It's Mikey, the drummer from Sometimes Sunday and Twin Sister. It was his baby. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. He never.
I think
asked us.
originally he probably booked it, but that sucks. All right. So the whole it was at a fairgrounds, and the only like we all played festivals at fairgrounds, and they usually sucked. Like it was like where livestock things happened, and it
Yeah.
was like most fairgrounds are just out in the middle of some field. It's for a fair. Well, this was along like the what is this Willamette River, Willamette Valley? I can't remember what the river's called. Calumet.
I don't have a
somebody's
clue.
gonna have to correct me on this, but anyway, it's literally called the Skamania County Fairgrounds, which I think they call Skamania or something like that. But it's up this river, like from Portland, about an hour into Oregon, and there's not really hotels. There's just like the kids can camp on the fairgrounds, and because of where it's at, it was beautiful, but no hotels. So you as a band who had been living in a van, forever, you're like, I gotta stay in a hotel because I need to take a shower. And we
Right.
always stayed at the festivals. We tried on the bigger ones to stay the whole time so that we could run our merch booth.
Right.
So
Exactly.
we were there and we stayed at a hotel, and it was some ghetto hotel, and it was like 2 towns down. That was how far you had to go to get a motel. So we were staying in it, and there wasn't a lot of rooms. I think it was like 2 rooms. I remember Frank came with us, and he was sleeping in the bed with Scott. And we're all asleep. It had been a long day. All of a sudden, you just hear Frank go, Scott, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? And Scott gets out of the bed real quick. He's like really embarrassed. And Frank is laughing. He's like, were you just kissing my neck? Apparently, Scott was dreaming that he was back home with his wife, and he was totally spooning Frank and just like laying him onto his neck.
That's phenomenal. That is fantastic.
It was, yeah. So the owner of the record label and Scott spooning, and yeah, it was good.
Hey,
good
that's
times.
what made you guys the flagship band on that label, man.
It
was little things like that.
You know what I don't get at home is I don't get to be the little spoon.
Necking. Once you get married, necking goes out the window.
It totally does.
So guys, if you're listening to this and you're married, just start necking your wife. Just go back to like just go back to, maybe it wasn't even your first date. Go back to like junior high and then just start necking. Yeah. That's fun. Yeah. Necking is fun.
What about, what's the best hotel room you ever stayed in? Can you remember that?
The best hotel room we ever stayed in was in Neuchâtel, Switzerland. Like we played Switzerland, and they got us basically an entire floor. Um, well, you know what? There's two. So basically, we had this entire floor of this building
Mhm.
uh in New Chatel. And so like
Jeez.
kitchen, rooms, all this stuff. It was like a suite. I mean, it was like a 1,500 square foot like room or something like that. You know,
Wow.
it was a nice big
Wow.
like apartment basically. And so
Yeah.
we were in there and that was a lot of fun to just have this whole floor that overlooked like in New Chatel. It's like a city built on a hillside and then it overlooks like this lake and then past the lake is like the Swiss Alps and all this stuff. So I mean, it's something out of something out of a fairy tale, out of a book. And so that was really cool. Like you could go out on the balcony and then you see the like moon reflect off the lake. And at that time of night, I don't think you could see like the mountains and everything like that. But that was really, really, really
That's
cool.
awesome.
Another cool one we did was north of Berlin. North of Berlin, there was a concentration camp called Sachsenhausen.
Mhm.
And so Sachsenhausen was a concentration camp in World War II, and the commander of the camp had like this big, huge house built.
Okay.
Well, so now the camp is a museum, and the house that this guy had is a hostel.
Oh,
And so
wow.
when we were on tour with Good Weather Forecast, our tour just rented out the whole hostel. So we just had every room in the place.
That's like
Well,
a very communist move where
yeah,
they would just
yeah,
be like, with this whole big, nice house that was built by slave labor,
yeah,
it's going to be for everybody.
yeah, 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 yeah. And so the first floor of this like mansion, I mean, it wasn't a mansion, it was a huge house. Think of like the only thing that's coming to mind is like in the movie like Forrest Gump, like his
Mhm.
house, kind of like a
Yeah.
big plantation type house. That's what this looked like. So it wasn't a mansion, it was just a huge home. Well, the whole first floor was a museum of World War II. So there were like Nazi uniforms. There was like the I guess you would call them like the uniforms that the Jews wore, like the
Mhm.
striped clothes and stuff, and then like
Uh-huh.
the patches, and it had like buttons and knives, and it told like the story of like this Jewish girl, and like kind of went through the whole thing, and I believe she ended up like surviving. She was like in there the longest. She had been like one of the youngest girls and survived it. It was crazy. But
Yeah.
so when we like rented out the hostel, we all like go in there, and the person who like welcomes us, they like give us the keys and they're like, "All right, enjoy yourself." And they leave.
What?
There is nobody there. Like there is no caretaker, nobody there to like make sure we're not breaking anything.
Yeah.
Just the dude gave us the keys to the house and left. So we're like walking around. I mean, it's 1, 2 in the morning, and we're like walking through the museum like it's noon. And we're
What?
just like looking over everything and, just checking everything out. And if we wanted to, we didn't. But if we wanted to, there were paths from the house to the concentration camps. Like every morning, like this commander guy could walk to different parts of the camp from his homestead.
Wow.
And so if he wanted to walk to like the guard barracks, there was like a gravel path that went there. If he wanted to walk to whatever was going on in the camp area, he could walk there. And so there were all these paths that if you went to the camp, like there was a way that you had to go in, you had to park like a tourist thing. You paid your money and you walked in. Well,
Uh,
from like this, you could just walk into the camp from like this dude's house. It
Jeez.
was the craziest thing. So that was really cool. I mean, it would be like if you spent the night in a museum, like Night at the
Right.
Museum with Ben Stiller. It was
Mhm.
crazy. It was really, really weird and really, really cool because
Right.
I think when you say it had like Nazi uniforms and stuff like that right there, I think makes people's like guts kind of turn. But it wasn't, as nothing in Germany is, it's like not pro-Nazi. So everything is like to remember like the evil and to
Yeah,
never
it's
let that.
totally against the law to
Exactly.
do anything pro-Nazi.
Exactly. So I mean, it had these things, and you could see these things, but the story that was woven through this museum was a story of hope and redemption or something like that. Um,
Huh.
but that was a crazy one. That was like a really cool hotel. So we had the one in Neuchâtel, we had that one. And then I think in the US, I mean, it's funny. Like, it's always fun to like stay at like a DoubleTree. Like, I remember going to Dallas. Whenever we played Dallas, we'd stay at like
Get
a
cookies.
DoubleTree, and it was like, wow, these are like sweets, and you get free cookies.
Mhm.
Now, what was
Yeah,
yours?
well, we always so the first run on 5 Iron, we would always get like just crap hotels, Motel
Yeah,
6 and Super 8s and stuff. And every once in a while, you would just like hit some lottery where the promoter would be like, "Oh, we put you guys up in the Marriott." And you
yeah,
just be like, "What?" And I kid you not, every single time that happened, it would be like, we've got to leave at 4 a.m. or some
Oh,
insane
you're
thing.
so right. You're
It would
so
be
right.
you couldn't enjoy it. Like they'd be like, "Oh, this is one of those hotels where you get a robe," and you'd be like, "But there's not enough time to take a shower."
Yeah.
You can have 2 hours of sleep in this hotel. That happened every single time, and I wanna say it happened a lot that we got a lot of those hotels, but 4 or 5 times. One time, so I do remember one very nice hotel we stayed at, and I can't remember, it was, like, downtown Springfield, Illinois, and we got there at, like, noon and then didn't have to play until the next night. So we got there at noon. They put us up in a hotel all that night, and then we played the next night and then drove.
Okay.
So, but it was super nice, and it's the only one and we all got our own bed. It's the
Yeah.
only time I remember getting to enjoy a hotel. And the biggest luxury of that day I remember was like I was like, I'm gonna get a haircut and just had enough time to go out and like find a Supercuts or whatever, get my
Yeah.
haircut. Cause like mostly I was cutting my own hair in 5 Iron because you just be like, I'm gone for 3 months. I don't know how to get a
Yeah.
haircut. There was no time.
Right.
So um
I
there's
remember
some
we
good
played
band photos with some Reese home haircuts.
some home haircuts with the
It's
Flowbee.
bad. Well, yeah, it's just like bangs, like
Yeah.
just just straight bangs.
I remember we played the 700 Club
Mhm.
once. So we played on the 700 Club, and it was like a big deal. Like, it was a big, TV show, and like the host of the show was like, I think it'd been like a Miss America or something like that.
Mm.
And so they built a set for us. It was funny because
Wow.
they built a set. Like, we were obviously, like, Scalleluja had come out, and we go to play, and they tell us that we're the first alternative band that's like ever played the 700 Club.
Really?
Yeah. And so like we walk in, and so the thing is, like, they invited us down, like they took care of us. I have zero issues or anything to say bad about the 700 Club, man. They were fantastic. Everyone we met was amazing and nice and super cool.
I may have some issues with Pat Robertson's theology, but
Yeah,
go ahead.
and so we didn't meet him. I think the closest we came
Oh,
was the Miss America supermodel that interviewed us, and
it's terrible.
yeah. So we were there, I want to say 3 days. Maybe
Mhm.
it was two, but I think it was three. So I think we got down there, and because it's like the 700 Club, like there's kind of like this, like almost like resort type thing, like built around it. Like they have their own hotel, their own everything like that. And so we were staying like in their hotel, and we were there like 3 nights. So I think we got there. Let's just say we got there like on a Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
So we got into town, we got the hotel so we could like stay overnight. Then we played on that next day, and then we slept there that night, and then like we left on like the third day. So they told us that like they built this set for us. And they're
Oh
like, "Yeah,
my
you're the
gosh.
first alternative band that's like ever played here. You know, it's mainly like the Gaithers and stuff like that."
Right.
So we walk on set, and the set is built like we're playing the rooftop of like old school like New York. Like
What?
it seems as though like the set was built like we were playing on a rooftop, and there were like brick walls by us and chimneys and like skylights, and they were all covered in bird crap. Like that was the set that they built. Were like these windows that had like white paint splattered on them. And it was like we were playing on a rooftop in like 1940s, like Brooklyn.
Oh
It was
my
so weird.
gosh.
Yeah, it was so weird. And so, yeah, we did like our thing, and we played our whatever. And we weren't asked back or anything like that, but it was a fun time. Like I said, we had a great time. I loved it. I wouldn't have anything bad to say about our experience there, but that was fun to get and those. Oh, here's another thing. This is what made it awesome. Everybody got their own hotel room.
Holy cow.
Yeah, so when you're touring with 8 guys and you get somewhere and every guy gets their own hotel room, that was amazing. Like
Yeah.
that was so awesome. And while we were there, the first day we get there, Johnny Hale, they had like a restaurant, like there was like a restaurant on the grounds. So we
Mhm.
go to the restaurant. John eats something and gets food poisoning.
Oh no.
So we're at this
No.
hotel
Poor
for,
Johnny.
yeah, we're at this hotel for 3 days. And the second day, like when we were on set and we were shooting, John was out of commission in the hotel, like shivering, puking,
Holy
diarrhea
cow.
for a solid 24 hours. It
Oh
was it
man.
was awful for him. So he missed I think he missed the whole taping, all of that stuff. I used
Oh
to have a
man.
VHS tape of it. I don't have it anymore. I don't think it's on YouTube. I don't think anybody's ever posted it on YouTube, but it was pretty
Oh
cool.
man. That's cool. We stayed so this wasn't directly Five Iron, but like we played the Christmas rock night and
In Germany?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, he played in Essen. Is it Essen?
Uh
Eindhoven? Is it? It
yeah.
was like at a school or like a community center. So we
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
played it.
Huge, yeah.
This dude. So we played it. It was me. Like everybody
Nah.
in Five Iron got. Every time we went to Europe, we'd end up getting like Eurail passes for a couple weeks and just try and go around and do things. But
Yeah.
it was, that was right before Christmas, and somehow, um, Keith and I and
Annapotal.
Leonore.
It's in Annapotal, Germany.
Okay, Annapotal.
Yeah, sorry, I had to interrupt
Leonore,
because it was driving me nuts.
Andy was with us. Andy brought his wife, Mindy. And then I had brought my ex fiance. So she was,
What?
so this is not Christy, who I wrote all the Brave Saints Saturn stuff about. I was engaged to this girl that was my girlfriend after Christy. Her name was Stacy. Still a great friend of mine. But like we were engaged then, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to Europe. You want to come with us? It'll be fun. We'll just hang out for a couple weeks and come back right before Christmas." So, I think we had gotten like open-ended tickets back. We're just like, it'll be fun. So we get all this stuff, or we ask the promoter, just like, don't get a date on the end. I don't know how much that cost, but so it was like that.
Okay.
And then we broke up, but she still had the ticket. And we were like broke up in a way we're like, let's still be friends. This is not working. It worked better when we're friends. Let's try and stay friends. So in my head, I'm like, this is good. This will work. And we went, and then she was really upset that we were not together, and it caused a lot of drama. Then we ended up getting engaged again. Like we went back to it, not during the trip. However, this is I kind of digressed. So we went. We all had URL passes. We all went to Paris, but before that, like at the show, a dude came up to us and he was like, "Hey, man, I'm American. I do graphic design for Mercy Ships, and I live in this town in Switzerland called Lausanne. If you want to, give me a call and you can come by and we'll hang out. We'll go snowboarding." And I was like, this sounds too good to be true, but sure. So I took the guy's number and we went to Paris, and then Andy and Mindy went home. So it's just me, Leonore, Stacy, and Keith. We go to Barcelona, real cool. And then we're kind of like, everybody else is like, I got to get home for Christmas. And Stacy's family lives in San Francisco. My family, I don't think, was home in Denver. So I was like, I don't really want to go home. This is kind of cool. Europe's awesome. Let's just stay. Well, Keith and Leonore decide to stay with us to go to Lausanne. So I called this dude. I'm like, you remember me? And he's like, oh, yeah, come on by. So he's like, just take the train to the train station in Lausanne, and then I'll take care of you guys. So we go, and this is not a hotel. On the way, we kept getting sleeper cars because you can pay like an extra $5 on a lot of these. This is in the 90s. So you could pay like an extra $5 and you get a sleeper car. And if you're in Eastern Europe, it's going to be awful. But like in Western Europe, it was nice. Like you could sleep. Instead of getting a hotel, you paid $5 extra and you slept in the car. Well, what we didn't know is people get on when the train stops, and they'll go by, and if your door is open or you put anything near the door, they'll open it and yank it. So Keith's pants got stolen in the middle of the night. And in his pants, he had his wallet and I think his passport. Maybe not his passport.
Oh, my word.
At least his wallet. So we had to get out in it was in Switzerland, it was in Geneva. We had to get out and report Keith's pants as being stolen. And I took 4 years of German, and I got this communicated to these dudes. You think that like most people in Switzerland speak English. They speak English, French, Romanish, and Italian.
Okay.
They speak everything. Most people in Europe speak multiple languages, but
correct, yeah.
The cops did not speak English. So I had to like translate. I was just like, his pants got stolen. and they got it out. He got the report. They never found his pants or his wallet, but it was like enough that he could report his credit card stolen and stuff. So then we go on. Word. The guy picks us up in Lausanne. So Lausanne in English is Lucerne, like the type of cheese, because that's where it comes from.
Okay.
So this guy is like, picks us up, super cool guy. He's like, okay, so you're gonna stay at this place where we have like some YWAM groups, and then we have a youth group that meets here once a week. Some people live here. It's gonna be really cool. You're gonna like it. Have you ever heard of Peugeot? And we're like, yeah, like the car. And he's like, yeah. Well, the family that own, that the Peugeot family, they had this castle, and it fell into disrepair. So as a tax write-off, they gave it to the city of Lausanne, and the city didn't know what to do with it. So they said, any nonprofit that comes and fixes it up can have it for 100 years. So it's a castle. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. Pulls up. It's on like 100-acre spread, just this like national park. It's like a park. They made it into a park for the city
Holy
up
cow.
the hill overlooking Lake Geneva, the Alps, like everything in the background. It looked like The Sound of Music. And then we pull up and it's a freaking castle. And he's like,
Oh, wow.
okay, so Mercy Ships is on this floor. All the offices for Europe are on this floor. And then YWAM was on the next floor, like all their offices. And this guy did like graphic design for both of them. Was it YWAM? I can't remember. So they all had converted part of this castle into their offices, 2 floors. The next floor, everybody that worked there got a condo. And then the top floor, they just had like rooms for people to come stay.
Holy
So
cats.
he's just like, here, come stay here. Do you guys mind if we do fondue tonight? And we're just like, oh, yep, sure. So we're in Switzerland and they're busting out like fondue, bottles of wine. They're like, they warned you. They're like, don't drink water when you're eating fondue, because if you do, it just makes the cheese balls into poop balls and you'll get constipated. Drink wine. So they were totally liquoring us up. We all had too much wine. I think we watched like Real Genius and then had fondue. So amazing. And then the next day, dude took us snowboarding. It was awesome. And we went down in the basement. He's like, let's pick out your gear. So in the basement, they had like a place where they have raves. So all these lights and stuff. And then he just opens up this door and he's like, here's all this gear that people donated. And you just went and picked your boots and your snowboard and I don't like coats and gloves and everything. And then the guy drives us up and it's like probably one of the best days I've ever had snowboarding. It was so cool.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's a fantastic story.
So cool.
That is.
Yeah. So,
well, Patreon members, with that amazing story ending, we are out of time. Gonna get back in time. Back in time. Gotta get back in time. So anyway, you guys, we thank you so much for paying for Reese's liquor every month, and condoms for us, so we can fill them with water, throw them at people.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we need the sponsorship.
Is that what you do with them? Okay.
I thought. What else would you do?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Somebody
Bareback
help
it,
me.
baby. So anyway, you guys, we want to thank you for being Patreons. And is it Patreon or patron? I don't know.
It
Patreon?
Technically patron, but I like saying Patreons.
Yeah, I always screw it up. But again, guys, we thank you so much. Can't get it across enough. And I know we keep saying this, but time just flies throughout the week. We need to set something up with you guys. Hopefully by now, by the time you're hearing this, we will have set something up. The holidays are kind of over. And so we want to get something together where we can do a Zoom call with everybody or like a meet and creep, something like that, a Facebook Live, something. We're going to try and put something together. I promise you tomorrow, Reese and I will talk about it and try and get something on the calendar and get something out to you guys where we can pin down a date to do something.
Some sort of virtual Uncle Touchy's Magic Puzzle Basement, something.
Something
like that.
Yeah. I have no problem getting naked camming. Oh, yeah.
Did you see my surprise? That didn't translate into podcast, but it was like, what?
Yeah, that would have been a good little portion of the video there.
I'll get out my school Speedo.
No, yeah, that cookie dough roll. Just shove it in there. Just Just get that in there. So anyway, you guys, thank you. It's late here. We're getting slap happy. So before we start saying anything that we completely regret, we're going to say goodbye.
Love you guys. Thank
See
you.
ya.
Peace.